I've just done an interview, wrapped one up with Etha, one of our program members. She started with us about 4 months ago. She's now in and around 3,000 per month, and she's on track to definitely scale to 10K a month in, I would say, in the next kind of 6 to 12 months minimum, to be honest. She's growing quite fast right now. And so in this interview, you're going to hear her talk about how she got into this, coming from Ireland, then living in Australia, and then transitioning out of very intense manual work in Australia into social media marketing, and now planning to move to Dubai. So hope you enjoy this. If you want any info about the program that I run, that Aoife is a part of course, you'll see information below this video on how to join that program. I hope you enjoy. Okay, guys, welcome to this interview. Today I've got Aoife with me. It's going to be a very good interview. I'm very excited for it, for a few reasons. Aoife's Irish in Australia, and she was working FIFO, which we're going to touch on here in a moment, and then transitioned to social media marketing, which obviously they're two very different things. So we're going to run through how she made that transition and really kind of the results she's gotten so far with social media marketing. Aoife, from my standpoint, I think I understand you're in and around 3,000 per month
Yeah.
ish right now, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. And I guess if when you started, which I checked, it was like roughly around 4 months ago with us, somewhere in and around kind of like 4.5 months.
I
Where did you
checked
start
back.
from?
It was the 19th of April when I first got into Telegram. So that's like,
Okay.
I obviously didn't start that exact day, but that was the first
Yeah,
day I
yeah.
got Telegram.
Cool. Perfect. So that's a really good, I guess, date to have in mind there, because the starting point, as you said, it's not like you started getting clients on that day. Like that's
No,
you
no.
joining the program, logging in, like just getting used to things. And then of course, within the first few weeks, hoping to then get a client on board from there. So I guess when you started, like, was this something you had looked into for like a good chunk of time, or was it more of a sporadic thing to make that transition?
Yeah, weirdly enough, over the past year, my boyfriend had we'd like sent your TikToks to each other a few times.
Love it.
So So yeah, that's how it kind of so we when I was traveling and stuff like that, we come across your videos the first time and then, we sent them back and forth and things. It was kind of just like that was something we were interested in. So
Hmm.
it was almost like in the background, you were always kind of
Hmm.
you're always
Hmm.
there. I'd like known your face, I knew what you were doing and stuff. And then yeah, that's kind of how it happened. Do you want me to go into like how I transitioned a
Yeah,
bit?
I'd love to, because like I think just from my perspective, I've never done FIFO in Australia, but they sound like
Yeah,
completely different beasts, like online social media marketing and the other type of
yeah,
work. So I'd love to, yeah, just give people the context of that transition.
yeah. So when I graduated from UL, I did business and I did like risk management and insurance. I wanted to do everything in my power to avoid 9 to 5. Like the second, like in my head, like there was no possibility I could do a 9 to 5. It just wasn't like in the
Mhm.
realm. So I actually went to New York on a J1 and then I was working in a restaurant, obviously no 9 to 5 there. Then I came back and I knew I was going traveling from January to, middle of summer. So I came back from the J1 in September. I got an online job, once again, not 9 to 5.
Mhm.
It was with this company, Zazzle, and it was like 3 months. It literally exactly the day I came, a week after the day I came back from New York, and literally up until like 2 days before I was leaving on travel was the contract. So I was like, oh my God, perfect. And it was all online, so grand. So then I went traveling and Southeast Asia, so was tipping about. And then by the end of that, like I was like, there's no way I can come home and go into a graduate job like everyone else. Like it just like for me anyways, I was like, it's not gonna happen. But like I'm not ready to set up a business or anything like that. I always knew I was gonna set up a business. Sorry, forgot to
Mhm.
mention that. But I've always known that was gonna happen for me. And so we were like, fuck it, what do we do next? And we were like, right, Australia is super close,
Mhm.
especially Perth. And we were like, we see all these people making money on FIFO. So we just a week before our visa was ending in Vietnam, we just booked flights to Perth and we are like, fuck it, like let's just chance it. So then I went to Perth and yeah, getting a job in FIFO was honestly like harder than getting a client.
Wow. Okay.
Was yeah. So like Honestly, that prepared me for the rejection part of this whole
Hmm.
thing.
Hmm.
Oh my
Hmm.
God, like LinkedIn all day long, messaging people, like just trying to get a foot in the door. And eventually we did. And then I was able to get Matthew in with me. And yeah, FIFO was actually, I was only doing utilities. So it wasn't that bad. I mean,
Hmm.
it was 2 weeks on, 12-hour days every day for 2 weeks straight. So yeah, by the end you're exhausted, like genuinely exhausted, but then you get your week off and you're nice and rejuvenated. So I kind of liked that cycle for a while because it was like, right, when you go to work, you've 2 weeks, head down, just do it, and then you know you have a week off. So it's like a bit of fun. Like you're making good money and you have this week off to just spend it all because you know that the second you head back on that plane, you won't spend money for 2 weeks. So it's a bit of a dangerous cycle in that respect.
Hmm.
Just like, you don't spend a single thing up there. Your food's cooked for you,
Hmm.
accommodation. And we actually, I never had solid accommodation in Australia. We literally just had sublets every single week off. So like
Hmm.
for a whole like almost year there, we just like bounced around like from site and back. And then it came into, so I was doing that for a while. And then by March, my visa, I was transitioning to another company, but my visa hadn't come true, my second year visa. So they told me I wasn't allowed to work. So I was like, all right, like I'll probably just chill here for like, 2 weeks or something.
Hmm.
And like time went on and I was getting no visa, but Matthew had got his. So I was like, fuck, like I can't work at FIFO. I can't work anywhere because who's going to take me when my second year visa isn't
Hmm.
here at all? So I was kind of in a place. Then I have a few like business ideas. So I started like, pulling up business models and things like that, just kind of on my own or whatever. And then I was like, right, I'm not gonna do anything with this right here, right now in Australia. Like that's
Hmm.
not gonna happen with like what I was wanting to do. And then Matthew was like, why don't you just get that 6FA program? Like we've talked about it a good few times. Like it's worth just like chancing it, like, rather than just you want to do something online here because no one in Australia is going to hire you without a visa because my visa was up in May and this is the
Hmm.
end of March. And he was like, we might as well chance it. Like, there's no point sitting at home waiting for that visa. Like, let's just make a move with it. So then, yeah, that's when I got the 6FA program was literally because I couldn't, like, I didn't have any other option. It
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
like I do believe though that like things like go in the right path
Hmm.
anyway.
Hmm.
So like yeah, it was just by chance that like I could not physically work. So there was like no way of money coming in.
Hmm.
So I was like it was like the perfect opportunity. I had like all this free time to like put 100% into it. And I think that did ultimately pay off. Having
100%.
all having the like free time. But yeah, it was just by chance. I literally
Hmm.
couldn't work anywhere else. So like my only other option was to like work online for myself because no one could pay me because my visa.
Of
But yeah,
course. Shout out to Matthew, by the way. Let's go.
I know. I know.
Pushing the sail through.
Literally.
Love it. Love it. Nice. Okay,
Just give
cool.
him
Well,
an
that makes sense. Like you said, it was like, yeah, no real other option. This thing was in the back of the head for a while. So fuck it. Why not? Let's give it a try. Let's see what happens.
yeah.
What was, I guess, kind of like the timeline, say from starting Aoife, because this obviously for most people starting, this is the big question of like, right, if I join a program like this, how quickly does it work? When will I get my first client? When will I get to 3K a month? If
Hmm.
you could kind of recap on, I can obviously see like in our wins channel all the wins you would have sent through like
Yeah.
through the past couple of months, but just gonna talk again kind of for like the person watching that might be thinking about starting this. I think it's always good
Yeah.
just to hear the realistic view from someone that's done it of like, look, this is what happened for me. Obviously, it's not going to be guaranteed for that person, but at least then they get a good view of like, okay, now I have an idea as to what is actually possible with this
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, so basically, first things first, what I did is I obviously watched some of the content, but then the second the whole thing about a proposal was brought up, I split my time into like I spent so much time creating a proposal because I had no other experience, or
Mm-hmm.
sorry, not proposal, portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but for Upwork, I was like, right, like half my time was spent like on the content and stuff, and then the other half was spent learning how to put together portfolio. And I had no graphic design experience and stuff like that. So like I really took my time making sure that like I was creating like the perfect portfolio that like if anyone looked at it that they were like, oh, she has skills, like it's fine.
Hmm.
And that actually ultimately paid off because the amount of people that were like, wow, those graphics were so good, like that when I'd no experience, but all I did was really like go onto YouTube. Someone created like, graphics and stuff, and I just like followed along step by step. So
Hmm.
ultimately the outcome looked like theirs. That's kind of how I learned how to do it. It's just like I'd pull up the YouTube on the TV and I was like watching them do it exactly as it was. So they were obviously skilled at it. So by the end, they had the perfect one. But because I followed their step by step, I also had all these perfect graphics that like I didn't really know how to make, but I watched someone
Hmm.
so many times. By the end, I was able to like make them. Same with videos as well. I literally just, yeah, I spent loads of time on my portfolio. And I think that's pretty much what helped me on the Upwork side of things.
Hmm.
But I got my first client from Instagram after I think it was like 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks is when
Hmm.
I got my first client. That was through Instagram. And I just texted him. I think it was an Irish guy as well. So, we hopped on a call straight away. And after that call, he pretty much was like, yeah, let's go. Um, yeah. So first one was through Instagram. Second, I can't even remember who's in the order, but basically from there, then I continued with a bit of Instagram, but I also saw that the Upwork was just like so much easier because one, you didn't really need a niche, and like two, I think I was pretty decent at writing proposals. I had the time to put like a lot of effort into them, and I knew my portfolio was kind of decent for someone who didn't have any experience because I
Hmm.
basically copied someone else's good portfolio.
Solid.
But yeah, so then I started applying stuff on Upwork, and I think like I kind of like cracked the code a little bit um for Upwork, and all of a sudden then I went from like it was a really big jump from like one client, and there was a time then where I had like 8 clients, and it was
Mm.
just me on my own. And if I ever like every day I kick myself about this, I'm like, Ethan, why didn't you hire from the start? So yeah, that's kind of how it was. Is the Upwork really like pushed things forward,
Hmm.
and then I also did do Instagram. The first one was from Instagram, and then I had someone on Instagram. I had a call with her after a week of doing outreach. We had a call, and I brought her through strategy, and then I kind of heard nothing from her, but I kept like hitting her up every time I saw her story. I was like, doing great. Like, if you need any
Hmm.
help, let me know. Then that she'd put up another story and be like, good that you're implementing these things. Like, if you ever need help increasing your reach or whatever, just let me know. And then 2 months later, she just texted me and was like, hey, I want to go for package number 3. And I was like, whoa, when, like, I don't even remember sending these packages. And I was like, fuck, I should have charged her more, but
Nice. I
yeah,
remember that
so
one when you told me, like, it was such a good example of what we always say, right? The money is in the follow up. Always keep in touch with someone. Just because they haven't signed up right away, no, doesn't mean that they're not gonna. You just need time
yeah,
sometimes with that, yeah.
I think she kind of just I think she just kind of thought that I definitely knew what I was talking about because I was able to like swipe up and be like, "Oh, it's good that you implemented this that I told you." Things
Yeah.
like that. And at the end of the day, then she probably saw my face enough times. She was like, "Right, we'll just give her a go."
Love it.
Leave us
Love
alone.
it. Nice. And I just checked theory, but yeah, like you sent us, I think the first win message was, I guess, yeah, like you said, kind of like 3 weeks in. It said
Yeah,
family client, Instagram client, Upwork client. And that the family client was just a free one just to do some experience.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then I see here, this was like roughly 3 weeks later, another client on Upwork. And then
yeah,
like, yeah, 2 weeks later from that, then another one. Yeah. So clearly you obviously found, like you said, just a very predictable way with Upwork of getting clients in.
yeah, yeah.
For I guess for someone listening in that maybe has started with Upwork or wants to start, what would you say are the most important things from your experience? You mentioned portfolio, like making sure that it actually is just really good and it stands out. Apart from that, is there anything else you focus on?
Yeah, so portfolio is definitely the first, and I think like that helped me be able to like give my clients like not like the best results, but just like decent content from the start because I like
Hmm.
literally went through, like a week or 2 weeks of like almost like a course for myself of making
Yeah.
that portfolio like so good, and I learned so much about Canva and like how to do it quicker and stuff. So yeah, portfolio first, then secondly, obviously personalizing every single proposal, like
Hmm.
every single, no matter like if they give their name or if they give like anything, obviously include that. But if they don't, find the niche, talk about who's good in their air in their niche, and like if what's working for them, what's not working for them. Like just give them like as much information as possible. And then recently I started doing Loom videos, which have just I don't know why I didn't do that from the start because I know Ty said it at one point. And I
Mm.
was like, yeah, yeah, I will. And then I never did. But now I'm doing them. And they, yeah, I think the Loom videos are just 10 out of 10. It's because it's like if I saw someone, because I've obviously put up things before looking for editors. God, there's just so many that like if someone's like, hey, here's an introduction to me, and then under straight underneath, I was like, hi, I'm Aoife. If they don't want to actually like watch, but they like have that still have a chunk of the top portion, they can skim over it if they're somewhat interested. At least there's a video that introduces me. And I just go through the portfolio basically showcasing what I could do. Sometimes I'll script the graphics if they're just looking for videos, and I'll go down and be like, this is actually a founder story. I see you're a founder looking for like content. I think this could work for you. We got good results with this. And like I just keep it under 5 minutes. And I think like I try, give as much personality and experience without feeling like I'm selling to them through
Hmm.
this Loom. It's kind of more like, oh, this is who I am, this is what I do, but subtly then kind of be like, oh, with my clients, obviously letting them know that like I've multiple clients. We do this with one of my clients, we saw this. Like it's kind of, I don't know, I feel like it just kind of helps reiterate the fact that you have clients, you've loads of them, you're in
Yeah.
like in demand.
100%. Yeah.
Um,
That's such a good example
I think
of
the
subtle
loom.
selling.
Mhm.
Because, like you said, you're
I think
just
from the start, I
constantly.
all
Oh, sorry. I think there's a little bit of a lag. Sorry, I'll let you. I'll let you go.
yeah. Oh no, I was just gonna say from the start, like I always just on every call it was clients. Even though I
Hmm.
didn't have any, it's like yeah, with clients. Because I was just like, you know what, we just let them think. I do more than I do. 'Cause I never like
100%.
definitively said like I do or don't have clients. It's just like, oh, with my clients. I mean, they're future clients. So.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Like, even, if you literally don't have clients, you could 100% say clients, because you could also be very strategic in how you word it and go, with the clients that I'm
Mhm.
planning to work with in this year, or clients that I'm going to be working with
Yeah.
in the next few months. This is what I'm going to do. This is the type of strategy I think would work best. Like you said, it kind of just
Yeah.
lends experience, right? It makes them go, oh
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. Like,
I
one, you
think
know what you're
ultimately,
doing.
yeah, you kind of like have more confidence when you tell someone like, oh, I do this to my clients, because it's like even if they don't exist, I'm pretending they exist. So I'm already like stepping into this like, oh, I have loads of clients. So it like makes me feel more confident when I'm talking to them because it's like, I don't know, that weird like psychology thing where you just
Hmm.
like seem the person you're trying to present yourself to be. So then I just found anyway that made me way more confident on calls. I was like, yeah, like my clients do this, I do this for them. And yeah, it kind of worked. In my favor, to be fair.
Yeah, unreal, unreal. So, like you said there, Loom videos super helpful, right? So, adding that to your
Yeah.
proposal adds the personalization. Obviously, finding jobs, as you said, that give you things that you can pull on. So, bits that you can
Yeah.
personalize, name,
Mhm.
business name, all of that. When you're looking through jobs right now, if it like, do you have a set criteria, or do you just have a feel of, okay, I'll look at these jobs, and if they hit these certain things, I know that they're worth applying to.
Yeah, one of my big things right now is no shit clients.
Love it.
I'm sick of shit clients. Um, so like I'm only looking for people that not just like I can help them, but they can help me because I want more client wins and stuff. So like
Hmm.
if
Hmm.
if I can't gain anything from working with you, it's kind of not, it's not worth my while, but I feel like the money's not that big in my mind right now that I'm like, I kind of want more people that will, give me results that I can show other
Hmm.
people, give me more experience and see. So I'm kind of like focusing a lot on like people who will actually get on camera. Like, yes, was it yesterday? No, the day before yesterday, I had a call with this like real estate brand in Dubai. And then I was all going, fine, whatever. They were willing to pay a decent bit, not really what I wanted. But then I was like, okay, so like what kind of footage are you working with? And he was like, oh, I don't really want to get on camera. I was like, okay, like what about the property and stuff? He's like, we don't really have any pictures of the property. I was like, nah. I was like, what you
Hmm.
mean you're selling property and you
Hmm.
don't have a picture
Hmm.
of property, you're not gonna put yourself on it. I was like, this is just gonna drown no matter what. Like, so,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. It's just like I don't want to take on someone just for the sake of money, like anymore. I kind of
Hmm.
want to like take them on so we can have long-term partnerships, do well, kind of, So
Yeah.
yeah, not looking
Makes
for
sense.
clients. Basically, I think yeah, look, having a criteria of like an industry potentially. I'm kind of looking for people who really want to be on camera and like have a
Hmm.
bit of a personal brand or just, just will pop in on camera. I think like things have gone that way now. So like you're kind of pushing against it if you're not going to show anything. Um, so yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously pay
I love as
the
well
higher.
like how you just get more confident when you do this. Like when somebody is starting, like they're probably
Mhm.
going to hear that of like you had a potential client that was willing to pay, and then you return them down and you say no, it's okay, like I'm fine. Whereas
Yeah.
obviously for somebody starting, they're not going to do that. They're going to take the
Oh
client,
yeah.
which is great because you take what you can get and you build from there.
100%.
But it's awesome that you're in that position now where it's like, yeah, money is cool, but it's not the only reason I do this. So if they
Yeah.
don't fit these other criteria, well, then it's not for me.
Yeah, I think like obviously I took whatever I could at the start, like 100%, but I lost that client after 2 months because we couldn't get results. But looking back, like I did the best that I could, like with he had contacted me probably twice in 2 months, and I texted him so many different times looking for content, never gave me anything. So he was so cheap, and I was putting like so much effort to find content, like literally pulling it out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I was just like at the end of the day, like that's someone say they do. Um yeah, I was just like they're kind of yeah, I obviously took it because it's experience or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
those are the kind of ones I want to avoid now because it just I was talking to Ty about it on our call as well, and it's like the ones that pay more are just better clients in general. Like the ones that pay the least are just a bit soul sucking.
Sure. For sure. I have two questions for you, Etha, that I think a lot of people will be wondering right now. So we've touched on how you get clients, like you said, so like Upwork being the main thing, but the fact that Instagram worked as well. And I want to
Yeah.
just highlight that because I know some people will think cold outreach doesn't work. It clearly does. You got a client right at the start with that. So it clearly works. With your clients, I know there's someone going to hear this and be like, all right, so Aoife's Irish, she's in Australia. Where are the clients? Are your clients all within a certain region or just
No,
completely just spread out?
they're everywhere. I've one in Dubai, one most of them are American, some are Australian, yeah. And I had some that were I had one that was Irish. Obviously he's gone. So
Yeah. Love it.
um
Cool.
I don't have a problem working across. I always say to them like I'm on WhatsApp like all the time if you need to contact me. Obviously, eventually I hope to not be reachable
Hmm.
24 hours a
For
day.
sure.
But like I think like as long as we have a time where we can set up one call like bi-weekly
Hmm.
and you can text me. Like there's one guy I have in New York and like we're full 12 hours. So like we have a system where like the first time we call, like neither of us want the late night. So I'll do the late
Hmm.
night one first and he'll do the early morning. And the next time round, I'll do the early morning and he'll do the late night one.
Nice.
So that like we're both kind of happy with we're both not being having to stay up at late nights to do the calls. Like we kind of rotated a bit, but we also like talk all the time on WhatsApp because he's available from like probably my 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. in
Hmm.
the evening. So
Yeah.
I think the WhatsApp closes the gap of distance as
Hmm.
long as you find a time bi-weekly or monthly or whatever the client wants to do. And like I'm happy to hop on a call at like 11 p.m. if needed. Like it's not that deep. Like
Mm. Yeah.
obviously sometimes I have work and stuff in the morning, yeah. But for me anyways, like it's a quick call. I usually don't mind calls. I enjoy calls.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's never been an issue anyways. So yeah.
Nice, nice. Because I get that question all the time from people looking into this, going, "Oh, but if I'm in Ireland, like I can't really work with clients in the US or Australia," and you can, like you said, you just got to be
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit flexible, early morning, or maybe it's a little bit late at night. But you're not doing that call every day. Like that's once a month,
No,
maybe, with your
no.
client.
And I
So,
think that's what, if you have the WhatsApp, like any quick questions, like you don't need to
mhm,
hop on a call for every single thing.
sure.
So yeah, I think, and if you just set the expectation and like, I always think like if you build a good relationship with them, there's never any hassle really.
Yeah.
Like I said, the ones that you don't have a relationship with, like that I'm glad he's gone now, but like the ones that you're texting constantly and are not afraid to like ask questions to them or like,
Hmm.
if I'm not sure of something like, I have no problem texting some of them or hopping on a call because we've kind of become somewhat friendly now
Hmm.
from
Hmm.
communicating so much. So I think when you have clients that are further away, making sure you have a decent relationship is probably what would be good about that. Like I said, we now
Yeah.
have New York. It's like we just trade times because they're both like are respectful of each other's times all the time. Like I don't want him to be hopping on late night, neither is he for me. So yeah, I
Love
think
that.
that's like
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice, nice. And the second question I had then, Aoife, was your plan is obviously to scale, which, some people when they get to the point you're at now would be happy to kind of just stay where they are. And it's a good income and they're happy with that. You obviously have that fire to go, all right, let's keep this ship burning, let's keep going, let's run it up. So I'd love to know, and obviously we're going to work through this in the program as to how you're going to do that. But just from your
Yeah.
perspective now, I'd love to hear kind of what's your plan? Like, what does that long term goal look like, and how do you want that to look? Is there a certain number of clients you want, a certain industry, certain kind of revenue targets? I think it's always very inspiring for people to hear that as well, kind of like where you want to go
Yeah.
with this.
Yeah, I mean, like, I literally write in my journal every single day. I'm grateful now that I make 10K a month from my
Nice.
clients. Every single day, that's at the bottom of my journal. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
that's goal number one, 10K a month. I've said it since the day I started on this,
Mm-hmm.
every single day, a gratitude at the bottom of that every single day. So, that's goal number one, is once I make 10K. And then and then from there, like I obviously am setting up the my like the business agency in Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I sorry, I'm a bit of a rambler. What did you even say again? What
All good. Long
what's
term goal, where do you want to
oh
kind of go with
yeah.
this? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, long-term goal. So first is I kind of want to make 10K a month. And then
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm saying to you, I kind of want to max out like E for the freelancer side of things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And kind of niche down a little bit. My boyfriend is coming on board when we obviously both moved to Dubai, and he's an environmental scientist. So, like, he's a lot of knowledge, expertise in that kind of field of, anything environmental and things like that. And we've kind of like looked into it, and like, there's so much initiatives to drive eco-conscious like brands and things like that into Dubai at the moment. So like I don't know, there's just so many networking events where you can go and like talk to all these like amazing companies, like
Mm-hmm.
like climate tech, anything like that. So like I think it's worth having a shot at that type of an industry, especially with Matthew like knowing so much about the industry. I wouldn't myself like go for that industry if it was me on my own because like I don't understand the science terminology, but I think it's a huge asset to have like someone with a business degree, marketing experience and combine that with an environmental scientist, I think like that would be a good selling point for
Mm-hmm.
our business is that like we have like expertise on both sides of things um so I think that's ultimately where we want to go, but I'm not like too strict on like that's the only niche we're going to go, but I think that's probably the next scalable step is like I really want to it's the company's actually called like the Eco Lens. and it's like basically reframing how like the modern viewer sees these like boring companies basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, so yeah, that's kind of it. I think like I see more long-term goals at a niching down rather than just like, going on Upwork and applying to, random things. I think it works right now, obviously, and I'm happy to keep going with that for quite a while till I hit maybe 10K and then like start to niche down. And like I think when I niche down, I want to have like a decent team that I'm like 100% confident that can kind of not like take over all those clients, but like maybe have a client manager too. So then we could start focusing more on like the niche kind of side of it. I don't know. Would you recommend that or not?
No, it makes a ton of sense because like I'm thinking of Alvi in the program. That's kind of what he did. Got to 10K a month mainly with Upwork, then decided he wanted to niche down. He's
Yeah.
he's kind of done a bit of a pivot recently where he is using Upwork again, but there was a period
Yeah.
there where he went from roughly 10K a month to 20K a month, and he still had obviously the Upwork, kind of as you said, like the random clients, but then that 10
Yeah.
to 20 was specifically in the fitness niche. So,
Mm,
that was obviously building an outreach system specifically for fitness, making sure the
yeah.
team and the systems were specifically for fitness. So, it can definitely work really well. And I
Yeah.
don't think he had like a ton of experience in fitness. I think he had a bit of passion for it. But in your case, like the reason I would be pretty bullish on your example there is, as you mentioned, how many marketers are environmental scientists?
I
I don't
know.
know
That's
any,
that's kind of
right?
where it all I don't love environment. Sorry, I do like the environment. I'm not obsessed with it, but like I just think like it's pretty niche to have someone in that side of things be an environmental scientist. Like it's
Mhm.
just he has experience working with like different tech kind of situ. I don't even know like what they're
Mhm.
called, So I think like yeah, it just kind of made sense for us. We kind of wrote like what's both of our expertise, and mine obviously was business. Like that's what I studied and stuff. And like I'm obviously doing this, so I have the
Mhm.
experience. But for him to come on, like here and there, he's been helping with me, helping with like the marketing side of things like that. But like I think his ultimate goal will also be to be that expert in the field of like
Mhm.
if someone's talking technical terms that I'm like, oh, Matthew, you take
Yeah,
it.
just tag him in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, makes sense. Makes sense. We'll definitely dig on it more, obviously, in coaching sessions. But like, I think it's a solid plan. And like you said, short term, just maxing out the
Yeah.
freelancing, getting to that 10K. And then I think once you're at that point, obviously, like you're doing really well now, but you're gonna feel like this certain level of just comfort, to be honest, being a 10K a month going, wow, but kind of the world is my oyster here. I can really go in
Yeah.
whatever direction I want
Yeah.
to go now, and I have what I have, great. But I don't have to be a slave to, random industries if I don't want to. If I want to be more picky and have this more niche business, I can do that. You're more in control at that point. So it definitely
Yeah,
makes
I
a lot of
think
sense.
the knowing the expectation every single time you sign on a client, I feel like that would just feel so nice. Whether like, obviously each time someone comes on, it is a big deep dive into the audience, how they
Mm-hmm.
behave,
Mm-hmm.
all these different things, like
Yeah.
which I'm fine doing now. I have a decent team doing all the content creation. So like that's where I'm kind of spending most of my time is like strategy and everything. But like imagine you probably do know it. If for me to imagine signing a client and just knowing exactly who they're speaking to, what the audience is, how they
Yeah.
respond, like pretty easy then to come up with the strategy because I've already used it 100 times. That's kind
Mm-hmm.
of where I want to be, basically.
Yeah.
Is like already know. Because I think then you can absolutely perfect that because you're in it every day doing the exact same thing with the exact same people and you obviously you meet so much people in that industry too when you're working in that industry that it just, it'd be easier.
For sure. For sure. Like with my agency, yeah, like you said, signing clients, the sales call is easier because it's the same
Yep.
type of business owner. The onboarding call, incredibly easy because again, it's the same type of business. So,
Yeah.
the ideas we come up with, the plan that we put in place for the content calendar, it's all very similar. Little tweaks, little differences, but it's all backed then from all the previous results you have with clients. So if you
Yeah.
had 50 other companies that are environmental focused, you've got 50 potential case studies to leverage and be like, we've done this, 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 and this, and we found this has worked the best. And it's not just we think, it's based on what we've actually done,
Yeah,
you know? So
we know what
really,
we
really
need to get.
powerful for
Yeah, and
sure.
that's definitely that's the long-term goal is basically be in a position where I just know my niche so well that I can
Hmm.
like confidently know I can give them results and stuff.
Sure.
Obviously now like I'm obviously learning so much every single day. Like it's it's honestly like addictive. I would
Mm.
say anyways, because like you
Mm.
just every single day I want to learn how to make sales better, make content, do this better, this
Hmm.
better, this better. Like I feel like I'm in such a realm right now of like wanting to be like getting the results, but like
Hmm.
I'm still fresh learning all that. Like, but yeah, it's a little bit addictive, kind of like wanting to get results. I
Yeah.
would say.
100%, 100%. And like, I think it's a very strong trait that once you have that, yeah, like great, because you're going to do really well. You're actually going to serve your clients at a very high level. You're going to feel more passion then because like you're getting clients great results and it all kind of feeds into
Yeah.
itself. And just overall, you'll do
Hmm.
better. Aoife, there's some questions
Yeah.
in the chat just from people that hopped on. So I'm gonna run through some of these for you. So one of them is from Luciana. And she said, thanks for sharing the experience. Congrats on all your clients. And then she also asked kind of your advice on how you've scheduled your day to manage up to 8 clients.
That was rough. That point, I had no one but me. I remember I was on a call with you and we tallied up how many pieces of content I was doing per week and it was like in the
Yeah,
40s. I was like, I'm not a graphic designer and a videographer like or
yeah.
editor. What am I doing? That was really, really tough. I think like yeah, that was tough. I think hiring was like the biggest thing, but I felt like I was stuck because I was like, I don't have time to hire. I literally got up and was balls to the wall, like all day long, creating content. And I was just like, I don't even have time to hire because I have so much shit to do.
Mm,
And
hmm.
also, like my biggest advice would definitely be hire before it gets too late.
Yeah.
I think there's a weird, if you've never hired someone before, it's a weird thing to be like, wait, this is my money. Why would I give it away when I can do it myself? Like I think
Hmm.
I was in that mindset of just like, well, I know I can make content. Like I can do it myself. I can, and sometimes that still happens to me. Like I signed a new client there like last week, and like it's 2 posts per week. And I was like, oh, it's like nothing. I'll just like do it. But I was like, wait, like just hand it off because like then that person can get used to doing that client's content. They are better than you. Like just because you could do it doesn't mean you're good at it.
100%.
Um, yeah. So in that time with the A clients, eventually I had to just like hire someone, and I'm so glad I did. And then when I hired my first girl, the same day I pretty much hired another girl because I was like, right, we can't like slip behind. And like the worst thing was like I was obviously so tired and wrecked and everything. My gym went to shit, my food went to shit because like I would wake up in the morning, check my phone, and I was like, I have a million things to do. I went to the gym and I was like sitting there literally doing like Canva graphics between
Mm, damn.
yeah, eating my dinner, like typing on. So it was just chaotic. And I feel like, yeah, it's probably a bit of my fault that my first client left during all that because I was like, there was no strategy going on. It was
Mm,
literally
yeah.
chaos. Um, so yeah, hiring is definitely the biggest thing I did. So I have three, well, two now. I actually am getting rid of one of them. A graphic designer and an editor. They kind of do both. And yeah, hiring them so that we like everyone had equal content pretty much. And
Hmm.
then each day is like structured perfectly. The biggest thing I did that helped me is like do not disturb on my phone. So like it allows me to get shit done better because my mind is clear most of the time because I
Hmm.
turn my phone on do not disturb at like 9 p.m. at night. So when I'm relaxing and stuff, I can turn off that and like I get more creative, I get more structured problem solving. So like I'm not in a stress zone. So that if someone pop because I do have clients obviously in the other side of the world, so they might text me at 10 p.m. and I'm watching something. And then also I get up, I go to the gym, like my phone's still on do not disturb. Like I haven't seen any notification from anyone. So then it allows me to better structure my day as well. I think that was like a huge help that like you don't think like actually helps, but if you can stop being in that stress zone and just actually think clearly, I can like divide my days up well and like actually each task then gets done better. So yeah, biggest advice with like that many clients is like actually put your phone on do not disturb and get your stuff done because I think the second someone texts, they obviously don't expect you to get it done straight away. But for me,
Hmm.
like if they text, it's like, okay, it has to be done right now. So yeah, hiring. And then I also, when you hire, you also get more time back. So I just put that time into systems basically
Hmm.
and have like better, like what I'll do is like at the start, I had like 1 to 2 days a week where I just planned content and gave the editors everything else. And then now it's really like come to the point now where like all I do is plan and like manage and things like that and go on Upwork and things. So I think, yeah, you have to step back, take the loss of money for a second,
Hmm.
but now it's like caught up because I'm able to sign a client, onboard them perfectly, get their planning for the month ahead, and then my VA just puts it into the document with the editors and off we go. Like
Happy
so.
days. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, sorry, I ramble so much. That was like a long-winded way of going about that.
Hey, no, all good. No, because that gives us all the context there. Like you said, it's you started very much as hands-on, and then as you felt, obviously the stress and the chaos build is like, right, what do I need to get into the hands of somebody else and just start from there. But I think it's good that you brought
Yeah,
that up for someone that's starting where you can avoid that kind of stress chaosness and you can just hire right away. So if someone's
yeah.
not going to have much time to work on this, that's definitely where we normally recommend they start off.
Yeah, and I think if you're full-time doing this, you think you have more capabilities than you do. Like
Hmm.
I was like, wait, what? Like I'm in this full-time, like it needs to be me doing this. Like I got the time, I have it. But at the end of the day, like you did, then I sacrificed getting more clients because I was so stuck in that.
Hmm.
So, and then you're also stuck because you can't hire because you're so busy and you're so stressed. So yeah, I would just definitely wish I hired after like having two clients just to get someone warmed in at least. Like, yeah, so that's the
Yeah,
biggest advice I give.
solid, solid. Ben had a question, which is pretty much you've just covered it there, which was, did you say that you would have hired somebody from the start to make videos for you? So we just kind of covered that there. That would have definitely helped for sure.
Yeah.
Um, Ian said, well, great to see how well you're doing. And then he said, for the cold outreach, was it local businesses on Instagram or did you reach out to, yeah, like a certain market or a certain type of business?
Initially I was doing like fitness retreats and fitness holidays and things like
Hmm.
that. And that's where one of my clients actually came from. The one that came back to me like 2 months later.
Hmm.
And then I was like, I ran out of those kind of ones. And then I was like, fuck, what do I do next? And then I was just looking at the wedding industry. So then I just did that. And like, I mean to say, like, it was anywhere and everywhere. America. Like, it was so funny because by the end, I had like an appointment setter. And like by the end, like he'd be popping into places in like the random ass anywhere in like America. And I would have like texted them already. And I was like, God,
Mm.
like I was like, deep in it. Every day, 50, like anywhere in the world, just so that I could get a like hopefully get a response and stuff. But yeah, it was everywhere and anywhere, honestly. And yeah, you probably do
Yeah.
have to pick some kind of niche for Instagram, but like I wasn't like interested in weddings or anything. I was just kind of like, oh, it's
Mhm.
aesthetic content. It might be kind of easier. And it ended up being a wedding invite, but I mean, like, I was photographers, planners. Like, I kind of just what I did was like pick like a broad topic so that I don't
Mhm.
run out of things.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And like with that in, if you're doing local business outreach, you'll probably just run out pretty quickly. That's the problem with that. Like,
Yeah,
depending on where you live, but like if you're looking at a city, let's say, or a county in Ireland, then yeah, like you will run out of businesses pretty quickly. So you are better off to
yeah.
try and go global if you can.
I honestly kind of avoided local. I was just like,
Yeah, same. The thoughts of working with local businesses, I was like, no way. Like, I want to have a client that's like a million miles away, so that there's distance.
I'm going to charge that
Distance.
up really quickly.
Yeah, all good. Take your time. And then Tino, I see you dropped in a question here, which I'll run through now in a second with Aoife.
All right.
Oh, no worries. Alrighty. So we got a question from Tino, which is, so he's got two clients now, and he said, how do you manage the client deliverables? So how do you plan out the deliverables? Do you have like a set timeline for each client for, let's say, the content they've paid for? How do you manage that?
So the thing I hate about Upwork is that you don't get like, do you know what I mean, your payment upfront and things like that.
Hmm.
But usually, sorry, what's the question again?
Basically, just how you manage the deliverables. So, say if I'm a
Okay.
client and I'm paying for, I guess, 20 pieces, is there like a set
Yeah.
timeline for each piece, or how does that
Oh,
look?
okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so we kind of agree on weekly content.
Hmm.
I like to plan like a month ahead, but I don't like to make a month's worth because I've the way Upwork works and stuff, like they could just pull the plug at any point because they're not
Hmm.
giving you that upfront like cost. I found like on Upwork, you just want to be a little bit prepared. Like that happened to me with one person on like a random Wednesday. They were just like, oh, like we need to pause the con. They didn't even like cancel it. They just like paused it. And I was
Hmm.
like, well, and I was just like, right, I've already scheduled all the content for the next like week or two. And now I'm not going to get paid for any of it because I can't like track anything.
Hmm.
Um, so I usually do it like we'll have a set amount that we work on for the month, and then it's kind of weekly. I will send them out the content, but I do have the content plan like made for the month.
Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. And with that, Tino, like to be honest, everybody's got a different approach to that. I know Alvi in the program, like he doesn't use content calendars anymore, and there's not really like set deadlines apart from, if it's 30 pieces of content a month, of course they're going to post like once a day, right? Like he's not going to post three on one day and none for 3 days. But the point being there is, like you may not need to plan out every single idea for the client. It really just depends. Like we used to do that with all my clients. We just found it gave us a bit of peace of mind, knowing that, okay, we've got the content plan in place, but there would be times where we might need to deviate from that, or you
Mhm.
might just see a trend pop up and create a piece of content for that there. So if you're struggling with it now, I'd say you're best off do plan them out and do try and get ahead so that you're saving time and that week to week you're not trying to catch up, that's probably gonna get you to a place where you do feel like you've more space and it's less of the chaos.
When I was in my chaos state, it was like the day I was making the content, I was also planning it as I made it, and I just
Mm,
felt like that was.
yeah, it's rough.
I knew I wasn't getting the best content for them because there wasn't much planning going into it. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like
Yeah.
now I go and like look at what's working for other people, kind of pull it in, and we obviously on the call the other day like went through how to even do better ideas
Hmm.
and things like that. But I think like the more time you spend creating an idea, the better it is, and then you get quicker at it, I think. Like I'm
100%.
better
Yeah.
at it now.
Yeah,
So you
for
might have to put in
sure.
the effort, you know.
For sure. For sure. And like, if you're finding that you're in, say, similar to what Aoife was in, where it's like you're doing it the day of, you're planning it that same day. Yeah, let's try and get out of that as soon as possible. Because, like Aoife was saying, you really will just you'll create content just to create content. You won't think
Yeah.
about the long term vision and how we're going to tie this into the brand. Nah, it'll just
Yeah.
be very very basic, which is fine, but it's not going to get your clients the best results, which means they
Yeah.
probably won't stay with you too long.
So
Aoife,
in that
that.
case, like,
Mhm.
yeah, get the editor in to take that off your plate. We'll just give you
Right.
those extra hours. But then like I know exactly what it feels like to be like, but like I have time, I can just make it.
Hmm.
But like
Hmm.
if you extra time to make better content ideas and then someone who's better than you can make them, then it's just a win-win.
Definitely. Definitely. Aoife, that was really, really valuable. Like tons of really good insights there. So really, first off, just want to thank you for taking the time, spending it with us on a Saturday
Yeah.
of all days. So thank you for that.
Every day is the
And
same.
and
We're
if
no
people
9 to 5
wanna,
anymore.
yeah, yeah. If people want to check in and kind of see what you're doing, obviously you've kind of shared the vision with us here, of like where you're going to go with this in the next could be 2 months, it could be 6 months, who knows, for that 10K a month mark. Where can people kind of keep up with what you're doing? Is there any platforms that like you post on or that you feel it
Not
would be good
really.
to connect with people on?
Well, I have a personal Instagram, but it's not like a
Cool.
personal brand or anything like that.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know if you want to follow me there, but like we could probably just chat in um Telegram anyways.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Let's do
I
that. People
battle
can reach
I
out to you in
battle with
Telegram.
the
Hmm.
yeah, I battle with the need to start a personal brand every day.
When the time is right,
It's
you'll know for sure.
I know, yeah. Right now I'm just like I'm honestly like bad at even taking pictures on my phone, let alone like videoing myself.
Fair. Fair. Well,
Someday to
Aoife,
come.
appreciate it. Thank you for taking the
Yeah,
time.
thank
And
you.
yeah, hope everybody enjoyed this. If you did find this valuable, obviously, please do let us know and let Aoife know. Do shoot her a message and give her some feedback as well.
I also apologize if I just chatted so much. I often
Hey,
go off on tangents, so
that's okay. That's okay. The goal of an interview is the more you talk, the better, because then the more insights
yeah,
people get. So
yeah,
mission
perfect.
accomplished.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Aoife. Well, enjoy your rest of the weekend, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so
All
much.
right. See you soon.
Bye.
Adios. Bye bye.